Okay, so let's jump into this DeepSeek thing.
Right.
You know what's crazy? A Chinese startup just kind of appears and...
Seemingly out of nowhere, right?
Yeah, and suddenly everyone in Silicon Valley is like, wait, what just happened?
Like a bomb went off.
You gave me all these articles about it,
Yeah.
and I got to say, it's a wild story.
It is.
We need to really dig into this and try to figure out what's going on.
Absolutely.
So DeepSeek launched this AI model. It's called R1, and it launched on January 20th. And the world has not been the same.
Not at all.
So NVDA,
Oh, yeah.
I mean, their stock
just tanked.
They lost almost $600 billion
It's unbelievable.
in market value.
I know, and it wasn't just them either.
Really?
Microsoft, Google, Amazon,
Wow.
all the big players, they all took a hit.
It's like DeepSeek was this meteor that just smashed into
Great analogy.
the AI landscape, and I'm still trying to wrap my head around why the market reacted so strong.
Well, I think the cost is a major factor.
The cost of what?
Training the AI.
Oh, right. Yeah.
DeepSeek's R1. It's being trained for $6 million.
Which is insane when you think about
I know, right?
what the other companies are spending.
Hundreds of millions.
It's like a totally different ballpark.
Yeah.
And that's what has everyone so
it really
freaked out.
Challenges the status quo.
I was reading one of these articles, and it said that Apple might actually be quietly benefiting from all of this.
They are known for being...
Can you explain that?
So strategic with technology, right?
Right.
They wait for the right moment and then they pounce.
Yeah, they're very good at taking these really complex technologies and making them super user-friendly.
Exactly.
So do you think that they're going to team up with DeepSeek?
It's possible. Or they might just take what DeepSeek's doing and build their own version of it.
And then just unleash it on the world.
Precisely.
I mean, you see all these articles saying things like turning point. Redefining the industry.
Lots of buzzwords flying around.
Is this all just hype, or are we actually seeing a paradigm shift here?
It's more than just hype.
Okay.
DeepSeek has the potential to change everything.
How so?
We could be entering a new era
of
efficient AI where performance doesn't have to come with this crazy price tag.
Yeah.
And this could be huge for smaller companies, researchers.
Right.
They'll finally have access to these tools that
they could never afford before.
Exactly.
So you're saying that DeepSeek is making AI more accessible?
I think so, yes.
That's a pretty big deal.
It is. It really is.
It seems like DeepSeek is kind of forcing these big companies to ask themselves some tough questions.
Yeah, for sure.
Are their current AI investments actually sustainable?
Can they keep spending
right.
hundreds of millions of dollars to develop these models?
When DeepSeek's doing it for so much less.
Exactly. And are they even...
is it even...
taking the right approach to AI development?
Yeah.
DeepSeek is proving that there might be a better way.
Yeah.
And the companies that don't adapt, they might get left behind.
So it's not just the tech giants who need to pay attention.
No.
Investors need to be looking at this very carefully, too.
Absolutely.
Because the companies they're betting on might not be...
the sure thing they thought they were.
It really does feel like we're at a turning point.
It could be maybe AI does.
An inflection point.
Yeah, and the impact of this goes way beyond just...
way beyond the stock market.
Yeah.
Think about all the different industries that could be affected.
What are you thinking?
Well, I mean, healthcare.
Okay.
Finance, education.
We were talking about how DeepSeek has all these other AI models in the works.
So what could that mean for those industries?
Well, imagine AI that can help doctors diagnose diseases way earlier and more accurately.
Okay.
Or AI that can personalize education to each student's needs. I mean, this could be revolutionary.
Yeah, that's pretty incredible to think about.
DeepSeek's success could make it happen a lot sooner than we thought.
It really is mind-blowing when you start to think about...
Can I know all the possibilities?
That's like a whole new world.
Okay, so we've been talking a lot about the big players and the market and everything, but what does all this mean for, the average person?
That's a great question.
Someone like you listening to this deep dive.
Well, if DeepSeek's model is really as good as everyone's saying...
Right.
And if it can be developed and deployed so cheaply, I think it means we're going to see AI being adopted way faster.
Really?
Across all sorts of industries. And that means it's going to affect our lives more directly.
So give me some examples. Think about healthcare.
Okay.
It could become much more personalized.
Okay.
Our financial systems could become more efficient. Education could become more engaging and effective.
Wow.
So it's not just about...
All of this could happen.
Yeah.
Much sooner than we expect.
Stock prices and corporate battles.
Yeah.
It's about how AI could actually...
How AI is going to shape our lives.
Become part of our everyday lives.
Exactly.
Yeah. That's a big deal.
It's a huge deal.
So it's not just like a technological thing.
It's a societal thing.
It's like a societal shift.
Precisely.
Okay, so we're saying that DeepSeek is potentially revolutionary.
Yeah, I think that's a fair assessment.
But we've only just scratched the surface here.
We've only just begun to explore.
Yeah, because they have all these other AI models that we're working on.
A whole pipeline of them.
What do we know about those?
Well, they're calling them domain-specific models.
Domain-specific?
Yeah.
What does that even mean? It means they're designed to tackle specific problems.
Okay.
In specific industries.
Give me an example.
Like they're developing models for healthcare,
okay,
finance, education.
So they're not just trying to disrupt AI in general.
They're going after every sector.
They're going after...
They want to revolutionize how we do everything.
Wow. So
it's a pretty bold vision.
This is just the beginning?
I think so, yes.
Like we could see even more disruption.
Oh, absolutely. This is just the first act.
Okay, so we have this Chinese startup,
yeah,
DeepSeek, potentially upending the
whole
tech industry.
The tech world.
Yeah, so what does that mean for companies like Google and Microsoft?
They can't just sit back and do nothing.
They're not just going to let this happen.
I'm going to have to respond.
So how are they going to respond?
I mean, they have a few options.
Okay.
They could try to acquire DeepSeek.
Yeah.
They could partner with them. Or they could try to develop their own cost-effective solutions.
So it's like a battle for the future of AI.
For the future of AI.
Yeah.
And the stakes are incredibly high.
It's not just about...
It's not just about...
Who makes the most money?
Money. No, it's about
who controls
yeah,
this incredibly powerful technology.
And how that technology is going to be used.
Exactly.
Yeah, this DeepSeek story is just getting...
a fascinating case study.
And crazier and crazier.
And how quickly things can change.
I know. A few weeks ago...
I mean...
we all thought that these tech giants were unstoppable.
They seemed untouchable.
Yeah, and now
this startup comes along.
Oh, this little startup.
And the whole game has changed.
Yeah, just like threw a wrench in the works.
It's a moment of great uncertainty.
Yeah.
But it's also a moment of great opportunity.
You know, I feel like there's a sense
of
anticipation.
Like something big is about to happen. It's like we're all just waiting to see.
Yeah. We're all
on the edge of our seats.
Yeah, and in a way, it's kind of exciting, right?
Oh, it's incredibly exciting.
Like we're witnessing the birth of something.
That's me watching history unfold.
Yeah, a new era.
A new era of AI.
Okay, so one of the things that I found really interesting in these articles was this idea that DeepSeek's cost advantage comes from their unique approach to data and algorithms.
Is really interesting.
Can you explain that a little bit?
So basically, it seems like they've figured out how to get amazing performance with way less data and less processing power.
So it's not just about like throwing more money at the problem.
It's not about brute force.
They're being like smarter about it.
They're being smarter. They're optimizing the algorithms.
So they're basically outsmarting.
They are outsmarting the competition.
Yeah.
Not just outspending them.
Yeah,
which is a really cool way to think about it.
It really is.
It reminds me of like how Tesla disrupted the car industry.
Great analogy.
They didn't just build a better electric car.
They reimagined.
They rethought the entire process. And it seems like DeepSeek is doing something...
I think so.
Similar in AI?
They're challenging the status quo.
Yeah, they're forcing everyone to rethink...
all the assumptions.
Yeah, all their assumptions.
You've had about AI development.
And the impact is being felt everywhere.
The entire tech sector?
Yeah, this is not just a Silicon Valley story.
This is a global story.
It's a global story.
This has implications for everyone.
So for everyone listening to this,
yeah,
why should you care?
Because this isn't just about stock prices or corporate battles.
This
is about the future of AI and how it's going to impact your life.
So how is it going to impact my life?
Well, if DeepSeek's approach works, AI is going to become much more widespread.
Okay.
It's going to be adopted by all sorts of companies and organizations, not just the big players.
Okay.
And that means AI is going to touch every aspect of our lives.
Like, give me an example.
Healthcare, finance, education, our daily routines.
Wow.
Everything.
So AI is going to become
It's going to be everywhere.
Even more integrated.
It's going to be embedded in everything we do.
Yeah. It's kind of a scary thought.
It is a bit daunting.
Yeah, and exciting.
But also exciting.
Yeah.
It's a time of great potential.
Okay, so this DeepSeek story, it's clearly a big deal.
It's a game changer.
Yeah. And we're going to need to keep a close eye on them.
Keep watching this space.
Okay, so I want to shift gears a little bit here.
Sure.
And talk about some of the potential risks.
Oh, yeah, there are definitely some risks.
Because the articles...
Well, we can't escape me.
They mentioned some concerns.
Right.
About DeepSeek's rise.
Yeah, whenever you have a major shift in power, there are always concerns.
What are some of the specific concerns?
Well, some experts are worried about what this means for national security and economic competitiveness.
Like, what do you mean?
Well, if DeepSeek becomes the dominant player in AI, it could give China a significant advantage over other countries.
I see.
And that could have all sorts of implications.
So it's not all sunshine and roses then?
No, it's not. It's important to be realistic.
It's important to, like, think about the potential downsides.
The potential downsides. Yeah. We need to be careful.
So we're saying that DeepSeek's emergence is forcing us to confront some tough questions about the future of AI.
Absolutely.
It's not just about the technology itself.
It's about how we use it.
It's about how we use it.
And who controls it.
And who controls it.
And what values are driving its development.
That's a really important point.
It is.
It seems like DeepSeek's arrival has really sped up the timeline for these conversations.
It's forced us to face these issues head on.
So we've covered a lot of ground in this first part of our deep dive.
We have.
We've talked about DeepSeek's impact on the market, the potential benefits and risks of their approach, and the broader questions it raises about the future of AI.
Of AI.
Is there anything else you think we should mention?
Oh, there's one more thing.
Before we move on.
That I think is important to highlight.
Okay, what's that?
DeepSeek's success is partly due to China's massive investment in AI research.
So this is about more than just one company.
This is about China's rise.
It's about, like, China emerging as a
global leader in AI.
Global leader.
Yes.
Okay, so the global landscape of AI.
It is indeed.
We're witnessing a major power shift, and that's going to have ripple effect.
And that's going to affect all of us.
All over the world.
All right, so we're going to leave it there for now.
But we're going to come back and
pick up the
conversation even deeper into this in part 2.
In the next part.
So stay tuned.
Sounds good.
We'll be right back.
All right.
Welcome back to the DeepSeek Deep Dive.
Glad to be back.
So last time we were talking about all the craziness.
Right, all the chaos.
Yeah, that DeepSeek has caused in the AI world.
Yeah, it's been a wild couple of weeks.
It's been absolutely insane.
That's for sure.
So now I want to, like, zoom in.
Okay.
And really dissect.
Let's get into the details.
What makes DeepSeek so different?
Yeah, let's unpack it.
So, you know, their AI model, R1.
Right.
It's not just cheaper to train.
It's way more efficient, too.
It's, like, insanely efficient.
Yeah, it's remarkable.
So, like, what's the secret sauce here?
Well, one of the key takeaways from the articles you shared is that they're focusing on optimizing algorithms.
Okay.
And using data in a much more effective way.
So it's not just about, like, having
it's not about brute force.
The biggest computers and the most data.
Right. It's about being smarter.
It's about being smarter?
With the resources you have.
So DeepSeek is basically like...
You're kind of like the scrappy underdog who's outsmarting the giants.
Yeah, and this has huge implications.
Absolutely.
For, like, everyone.
Right.
This isn't just a tech story.
So let's bring it back to, like...
Yeah, let's make it real for people.
The average person.
Okay.
How is this going to affect our lives?
Well, think about healthcare.
Okay.
AI could help doctors diagnose diseases.
Okay.
Way earlier.
Wow.
Like before symptoms even appear.
That's amazing.
And with much greater accuracy.
So like fewer misdiagnoses.
Yeah, exactly.
That's incredible.
And it's not just healthcare.
Okay, what else?
Finance. AI could help us manage risk more effectively.
Okay.
Detect fraud. Make smarter investments.
Okay, so AI is like our personal financial advisor.
In a way, yeah.
That's pretty cool.
And then there's education.
Oh, okay.
AI could create personalized learning plans for every student. So, like, no more one-size-fits-all education.
Exactly. Each student gets a curriculum tailored to their specific needs.
That's pretty amazing.
It is. It really is.
So you're saying that DeepSeek's approach could make AI more accessible?
I think that's the key takeaway here.
Like, not just for big companies.
No, this could be huge for smaller businesses,
right.
startups, researchers.
So it could lead to like a wave of innovations.
I think we're going to see an explosion of new AI-powered products and services.
That's exciting.
It is. It's a really exciting time to be following this.
But it's not all going to be like sunshine and roses.
Right. We have to be realistic.
You have to acknowledge.
I have to think about
the potential risks.
Yeah, the potential downsides.
It's like, what are we talking about here?
Well, one concern is the concentration of power.
What do you mean by that?
Well, if DeepSeek becomes the dominant player in AI,
okay,
they could have a lot of control
right.
over this incredibly powerful technology.
And that could be dangerous.
It could be.
Okay, so concentration of power is one risk.
Right.
What else?
Well, there's also the risk of misuse.
Like how?
Well, AI can be used for good,
okay,
but it can also be used for bad.
Give me an example.
Well, imagine AI-powered surveillance systems that are used to track people's movements and monitor their behavior.
That sounds kind of dystopian.
It could be, and that's why we need to be careful.
So misuse of AI is a serious concern.
It's something we need to be very mindful of.
Okay, so we've talked about concentration of power and misuse.
Yeah.
What about these geopolitical implications that keep popping up?
Right. Those are important, too.
So DeepSeek is a Chinese company.
Yes.
And some people are worried that their success...
That could definitely tip the scales in the global AI race.
So is this like a new kind of Cold War?
Some experts are using that term, yeah.
Where it's not about nukes.
It's about AI.
It's about AI.
It's about data algorithms.
And whoever controls those.
They control the future.
This is heavy stuff.
It is. It really is.
So I'm trying to keep track of all this. DeepSeek, this Chinese startup.
Right.
They come out of nowhere.
Seemingly out of nowhere.
They're disrupting the entire AI landscape with their cheap and efficient AI. And this has all these potential benefits.
Absolutely.
Like better healthcare, personalized education. But there are also these risks.
Right.
Concentration of power. Misuse geopolitical tensions.
It's a complex situation.
So where do we go from here?
That's the million-dollar question.
Yeah, it feels like we're at this crossroads.
We are at a crossroads.
And the choices we make now
are going to have a huge impact.
Yeah, going to shape the future.
On the future of AI.
Okay, so what can we do?
Well, I think the first step
yeah.
is to start talking to each other.
Like, what do you mean?
I mean, we need to have a global conversation about AI.
About how we want to develop it.
About how we want to use it.
Yeah. And how to avoid...
how to prevent...
the potential risks.
The potential downsides.
You know some of the articles you gave me?
Yeah.
They mentioned this idea of like...
a global AI ethics council.
Yeah, a global AI ethics council.
Oh, that's a really interesting idea.
So like a group of people from all over the world.
Yeah, experts from different fields.
We could come together.
And different countries.
Figure out how to navigate.
Yeah, how to steer this powerful technology in the right direction.
That sounds like a good idea.
I think it's a crucial step.
Okay, so global collaboration.
Yes.
That's one thing we need to do.
Absolutely.
What else?
I think we also need to educate the public.
Like, why is that important?
Because people need to understand what AI is, how it works, and how it's going to impact their lives.
So they can make informed decisions about how they use it.
About how they interact with it.
Okay, so global collaboration,
okay.
Public education. What about governments?
Oh, governments have a huge role to play.
Like how is...
They need to create regulations and policies that promote innovation, but also protect the public.
So it's about finding the right balance.
It's about finding that sweet spot.
Between, like, letting AI flourish.
Right.
But also making sure.
But also making sure it doesn't get out of control.
It doesn't turn into, like, some sci-fi nightmare.
We don't want Skynet taking over.
No, nobody wants that.
No.
So it sounds like DeepSeek's arrival has really...
It's definitely accelerated.
Yeah, accelerate all these conversations about the future of AI.
Yeah, we can't ignore these issues anymore.
Okay, so we've talked about...
a lot of heavy stuff.
A lot of complex issues.
Yeah, but I think it's important.
It's essential to have these conversations.
Yeah, to have these conversations.
Because the stakes are so high.
So in the next part of our deep dive,
the final part,
we're going to shift our focus to the financial side of all of this.
Okay. The money stuff.
Yeah, we're going to talk about how DeepSeek is impacting investors.
The stock market and the global economy.
Sound good.
Stay tuned. We'll be right back. Okay, so we're back for the final part of our DeepSeek deep dive.
Yeah, time to wrap things up.
And I gotta say, this whole story...
It's a lot to process.
Yeah, it's been pretty mind-blowing.
That's for sure.
So far, we've talked about, like, the tech side of things.
Right, the algorithms, the data.
And the potential benefits and risks.
And the big picture stuff.
But now I want to talk about the money.
Ah, yes, the financial side of things.
Because DeepSeek is really like...
Yeah.
Turned the market upside down.
It's been a financial earthquake.
Yeah, I mean, we've all seen the headlines.
NVIDIA's stock in free fall.
Investors freaking out.
It's a lot of uncertainty.
So you know in the articles you gave me, there's a lot of talk about how DeepSeek is changing the game.
Yeah, it's forcing investors to rethink everything.
Like, what do you mean by that?
Well, for a long time, the thinking has been that the more money you pour into AI, the better the results.
Like, you got to spend big to win big?
Exactly. But DeepSeek is proving that wrong.
So now investors are like, wait a minute.
They're realizing that...
Maybe we don't need to spend hundreds of millions.
Maybe there's a smarter way to do this.
So are you saying that, like, the AI bubble has burst?
I think there's a growing sense that some AI companies were overvalued.
Like they were all hype.
Maybe a little too much hype.
No substance.
And DeepSeek is bringing us back down to earth.
So for all the investors listening out there, what should they do?
Should they sell everything and run for the hills? No, I wouldn't say that.
Okay.
I think it's important to stay calm.
Okay.
But it's also important to be strategic.
So, like, what does that mean?
It means reevaluating your portfolio.
Okay.
Looking for companies that are innovating in new ways.
Like companies that are focusing on algorithms and software?
Exactly.
Rather than just extensive hardware?
Because that seems to be the future of AI.
So does this mean that companies like NVIDIA are doomed?
Not necessarily. But they definitely need to adapt.
They need to change with the time.
Yeah, they need to find new ways to add value.
So it's not game over. But
it's a wake-up call.
It's a wake-up call.
They need to evolve.
Okay, so we've talked about investors. What about the bigger picture?
The global economy.
Yeah, like how is DeepSeek going to affect the economy?
Well, I think it has the potential to be a huge driver of growth.
Really?
Yeah, if DeepSeek's approach leads to wider adoption of AI, which I think it will.
You do?
We could see a surge in productivity and innovation.
But the articles you gave me,
right?
They also talked about job displacement?
Yeah, that's a real concern.
Like AI is going to take our jobs?
Well, some jobs will definitely be automated.
So it's like a trade-off.
Yeah, there will be some disruption.
Some people will lose their jobs.
But new jobs will also be created.
Like what kind of jobs?
It's hard to say exactly.
Yeah.
But we're talking about jobs that we haven't even imagined yet.
So it's kind of scary and exciting.
It is a bit of both.
Yeah, like the future is uncertain.
The future is always uncertain.
But it's also full of potential.
It is. We're on the cusp of something truly remarkable.
Okay, so we've talked about investors, the economy. I want to touch on the geopolitical stuff again.
Sure.
Because, you know, DeepSeek is a Chinese company.
Right.
And their success has a lot of people worried.
It's definitely shifted the balance of power.
Like how so?
Well, for a long time, the U.S. has been the leader in AI.
But now China is catching up.
And DeepSeek is a sign of that.
So some people are saying that this is like the start of a new Cold War.
A technological Cold War.
Yeah.
Where the battle is fought over AI supremacy.
That sounds pretty intense.
It is a bit unsettling.
But, you know, maybe it doesn't have to be all doom and gloom.
Right. There's always room for cooperation.
So maybe the U.S. and China can find a way to work together.
Maybe they can share knowledge and resources.
And use AI to solve global problems.
Like climate change and poverty.
That would be amazing.
It would be a win for everyone.
Yeah. So it's not just about competition.
It's also about collaboration.
It's about finding a way to make AI work for everyone.
Exactly.
All right, so to wrap things up.
Yeah, let's bring it all home.
This DeepSeek story, it's been a wild ride.
It's been a whirlwind.
And it's really just getting started.
This is just the beginning.
So for everyone listening.
Yeah, pay attention.
Keep your eyes on DeepSeek.
Because they're changing the world.
And the future of AI.
It's more exciting than ever.
And a little bit scary.
Just a little.
But mostly exciting.
Mostly exciting.
All right, that's it for our DeepSeek Deep Dive.
Thanks for having me.
It's been a pleasure.
I've enjoyed our conversation.
Thanks for listening, everyone. And remember,
stay curious.
The future is waiting.